By the time I reached the top, I got the flag and I raised it, and it felt like, you know, that I had actually like a different and new energy that I wasn't actually expecting. I felt that, you know, I just brought up to life. It's like I was sleeping the whole night and I just woke up. So it just felt great. I was just jumping around from every direction, just looking at it, and I was like, telling the Sherpa that was with me, the Nepali guy, the professional, I just pointed east and I was like, you know, my country is all west, and I was like, my country is all the way there, and Mecca is all the way there. When we pray, we look at that way. So it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. It was breathtaking.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Okay, now can we get the original version of the whole story?
Yeah, well, it depends. I don't know what you mean by saying actually the whole story. The whole story could be...
yeah, exactly. The story of, climbing the mountain.
Yeah, well, you know, we spent 2 months on the mountain, climbing the mountain. Over like 60 days on an elevation, on altitude is about maybe like 5,400 meters, like 5 kilos and 400 meters. So that's a lot. Pretty much what we did, we got there, we spent about like 11 days just walking from a city called Lukla, which is about 2,700 meters, all the way down to base camp, which is the camp that all the people usually go and camp there. All the climbers, professional climbers, go and camp there and put all the tents and just you know, be ready to actually, you know, go for a real climb. The whole point, well, we spent about like, you know, 11 days just climbing, trying to acclimatize, and acclimatizing is the most important thing in the whole trip. What makes the whole trip is hard is not actually, you know, that just the altitude, is just, you know, the fact that, you know, there's less oxygen in the air. Absolutely. and your body is not acclimatizing, meaning that we have, you know, less red blood cell that actually can deliver the oxygen to all the muscles in the body. So we spent about 11 days all the way until we got to base camp. It was pretty cold at first. We had headache, but you know, we got used to it after a while.
Of course.
Yeah,
can't expect.
Exactly. So the only problem that we had, that we didn't have like a schedule that we could just follow and just, you know, go with, because there was like a political, you know, situation was going between Nepal government and the Chinese government. The Chinese government wanted to close the whole mountain and, you know, not allow all the expedition teams to go and climb. And the Nepali government was trying to tell the Chinese that, you know, this is what they get all their money on, their economy is pretty much dependent on that, and they just cannot go and close it. So we didn't know exactly how is it going to set up. However, we use the slow climb. We climb high. We use the rule or the law that's actually climb high and sleep low. So we go and, you know, practice.
And the usage of climb high and sleep low is what exactly the benefits of doing
okay, well, this is what happened. Technically what happens when we go and climb to a higher altitude, that your body, your red cells and your whole brain is not used to, because the oxygen level was in base camp was 50% low.
And they would get lower.
Yeah, and if you go and climb higher, it will be technically will be lower. So what happens is like your brain is just sending the signals to the body that, you know, there is a different situation here. I cannot deliver the oxygen, you know, through the red cells to all the body, you know, to the muscles. So what happens here, that actually your body started creating, you know, more red cells. But if you have less oxygen, if you go and sleep high and it's the first time there, your body will have a hard time just actually collecting the oxygen so they can produce red cells. So what we do is we go to the spot or the elevation that we are used to, and that will make it easier and faster to make more red cells so they can it can be delivered to the body. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the first step for the people that are really in love and keen of this hobby, climbing mountains.
So what was the scariest moment you ever faced?
Scariest, I wouldn't say it was like scariest, because pretty much the whole expedition team or the trip was scary if you look at it from a scary part, but we knew that we're gonna go and face all what we're gonna face, and it was definitely an adventure, so we knew about it. But you know, one of the I would say the hardest...
No avalanches?
The first, I would say 3 or 4 weeks, avalanches about every 20 or 30 minutes you will see one. It's an unbelievable place with avalanches. The last, I would say week or 2 weeks there, pretty much you will see an avalanche every 5 or 10 minutes. It's amazing.
Wow.
So the scariest, if you want to consider the scariest, was the last day going down through the ice falls. The ice falls is the most dangerous pretty much spot on the mountain, and the ice falls is actually the area between base camp and between Camp 1, and it's just a crazy looking area, which is the hugest ice cliffs and ice rocks, and you have the mountain right to your right side when you're going down, or to your left when you're going up, and the avalanches is just the amount of them when you see them coming down is just enormous.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, but usually the road going down, you know, it's like kind of turns to the left side a little bit, but I was just hoping that, you know, we will be able to reach all the way down without, you know, having to, you know, face an avalanche, because it's not going to be a good idea. So that was the craze. Yeah, I mean, every 5-10 minutes we'll just see one, but they were kind of far away. You know, we would try and like,
so
you know.
Farouq, how many were you in the team? You were talking all the time as we. So basically you were many, you weren't only.
Yeah, well, we have like about 8 international team, 4 from the US, United States of America, and we have like 2 Canadians. One of them was Tim Ripple, and he is the leader of actually Peak Freaks, one of the best actual expedition teams in the world.
Peak Freaks.
Yeah, I know, with a clean record, which is like the most interesting thing, clean record in death or even like in injuries. So we were 8, and I said 2 Canadians and 1 from Oman, Sultan Ismaili, and the guy where we actually called him the Man of Steel. He's like the toughest of us, and also another guy from England. But we ended up reaching the top of just 5 of us. Sultan like got really tired and couldn't make it, and 2 just decided to withdraw from the team. So that's we. Plus about 11 of us, 11 of the Sherpas. It's a support team. A Sherpa is the local people who actually has born on the mountains, and they're just used to climbing it. So they call them Sherpa, and these guys also, they were with us most of the time, like climbing our tents, taking our stuff, setting up all the camps, doing all the work, the hard work, I guess. But they're the hard guys.
Of course, they're the hard ones.
So
Peak freaks.
Oh yeah, they're peak freak people, that's right.
So 7 of you made it to the top.
Yeah.
3 didn't. And 2 of those 3 just decided to go back home. Was it their first attempt to go and try to reach Mount Everest?
What do you mean the first attempt?
Was it their first time to try?
Oh, definitely. It's pretty much most of the people on the expedition teams, usually their first attempt. Yeah, it happens that all our team actually was the first attempt. All the team.
Even the leader of the Peak Freaks?
No. The leader, he's been doing it for a while, but he's never actually reached the top. But
so how about the funding? How about the sponsorship? Who sponsored you?
Actually, about the sponsor,
did each of you have to find somebody special to fund them, or to sponsor them, or all of you were sponsored by one?
No, definitely. Like everyone has their own story. But there is only one guy who was sponsored. The guy from George. He's from the U.S. and he was actually doing that for American missing children, which is like a good charity cause. And he's actually being sponsored by George Bush, the president of actually the United States, and also by about a bunch of the congressmen in the United States, and a bunch of official like, you know, CEO of big companies in the U.S. So he was the only one who was sponsor, and me too. For my part, my sponsorship part, when I first got the acceptance letter, because I've been working on it for almost like 2 months when I got to Saudi Arabia. And after that, what I did is I just walked to Mr. Sultan Al-Bazi, and he's the CEO of Tariq Communication.
Where do you work?
Exactly. I was actually being trained because I've been working with them for almost 2 months.
You're a public relation organizer in Tariq?
A public relation, yeah. I'm an account manager in the Tariq Communication.
So you went to your own CEO in the company where you work?
Exactly. Okay. I just went to him and I just wanted, like, you know, to tell him about my dream, and he was really shocked at first. And I told him that, you know, I definitely need a sponsorship.
I can expect.
Yeah, and he is just amazingly went for it. He just bought the idea and he really wanted to support it without even asking me about like a lot of details.
So back to more details after we have this phone call from Ben Milkovich, your roommate.
How do you feel about this? I'm sure you've missed him.
Of course, this is my homeboy.
Okay, Ben, how are you?
Hey, hello.
How are you, Ben?
Fine, thank you.
How's everything?
Yes.
So,
Ben, Ben,